Yo, 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 and away we go. Hello to part 2 streaming. Today we are going all over the place here. We've gone from baseball and now we are into the wrestling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream here. Part 2 for April 12th, 2023. Hope you're all doing well here tonight. If you guys weren't here earlier, guys and girls weren't here earlier, we were taking part in the Electric Show League week 1 as we were taking on Game Time Art and the Arrows. We split 3-1-3-1-1-3. So we ended up 1-1 to start the season, which I'm fine with. I thought I was going to get shelled in those first 2 games, but man, my hitting has really stepped up. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes going forward here. We got McGee next week, and the Piranha Pilots, I believe, is what the team name is. So we're going to go with, we're going to see how that goes, and maybe we'll get a few increases before, things go on. But that was then. This is now. We got a jam-packed episode of Dynamite tonight, and I remember at the end of the morning stream, I didn't know exactly what was on the card. Then I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, I should have remembered a few of these things. We are going to get, and it's probably going to lead off the show as always. We're going to get Orange Cassidy taking on Buddy Matthews for the International Championship, which it's going to be interesting to see how they keep the title on Cassidy based on everything that goes on with Matthews and the House of Black this week, the last few weeks. They've been just out to dominate. So for me, that's going to be a very interesting matchup here. Obviously, both these guys can go very well, and they're raring to go. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting title match there. And then you got the escalation of the storyline between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite as Moxley and Cassidy have taken up a match with Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a nothing match. And yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about how much blood we're going to see in that match because I got a feeling that they're going to use those two guys to set a statement, setting up for that feud coming into Double or Nothing. So, or possibly Blood and Guts. We are also going to get, and this is the match I'm really surprised I forgot on the card. We got Keith Lee taking on Chris Jericho, as Keith Lee is finally going to be making an appearance on Dynamite after so long here. For me, this probably could be a main event match, depending on how they want to build things up. Sorry, I was just pulling up the actual card on my phone here. I didn't have it ready to go, unfortunately. Keith Lee, new look, new gimmick. Since the last time he's been on Dynamite, he's been showing up on Rampage quite a bit here, so for me, this is going to be a hell of a matchup here. And Jericho, well, we know there's going to be shenanigans in this matchup, which I've already been very clear that I'm not a very big fan of the shenanigans and whatnot, so. But as well, we're going to have a TNT Open Challenge with Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the last real man, Silas Young. There wasn't much of an announcement of this match, but it's definitely going to be a match to show off Hobbs as the powerhouse that he is. And maybe sort of set up where the next feud's going here with Powerhouse Hobbs. Hopefully we can get a little more clarification and detail on that. So I would love to see Hobbs get a little bit more, raise the competition of the championship a little bit more here, but. And another one match that's going to be absolutely crazy here tonight. We got Swerve Strickland taking on Darby Allin. Which, somebody's going to go kamikazing over that. Hey, Retro Hangover, good to see you here today. First time chat. which I do believe might be a first-time chat in the other account. But either way, if it's your first time here, great, good to see you. Good to see you hanging out. Hope everything is going well for you. Yeah, I say you probably should swap your account. It just popped up as a first-time chat. That's why I said it, my friend. I don't mind. Zodiac, you're doing well. I hope everything in the podcast world is going well for you. I know that I've just got a request to go into a wrestling podcast here. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll be going. I'll get you guys more details once that comes out here. Getting fired up for June 2nd, which will be Street Fighter 6. We're going to have a lot of excitement with that. And yeah. And then in our women's match, sorry, bouncing back and forth here. You guys know we do that every week here as we go along. Our other match that's advertised for tonight is Riho and Sky Blue taking on Ruby Soho and Toni Storm. Now, this feud, I don't know how many more ways they can swing a cat at it, for lack of a better term. I think that's the way Alf would put it, but either way. How many ways you can swing a cat at this episode and this feud, this episode, trying to figure out some combination. Eventually, it's going to lead to Hayter and Storm taking on, or Hayter and Storm going back and forth, or Hayter and Soho. I honestly think that title somehow is going to get on Saraya, just for the fact that for All Out in London, they're probably going to want to have Saraya against Jamie Hayter as their women's title match. I can see them wanting that in 15 million different ways because, well, those two are going to get over like Rover out there. And I think that's going to be probably eventually where this is going to end up. But they got what? This is month 4. You got month 9. You got 5 months to build up to that. So hopefully they can weasel their way around and walk around all this. And who knows what's going to be going on here. And then, of course, the one thing we did know and one thing we did remember as we were going along, it's MJF is contractually obligated to be there. Hey, Zodiac. I don't know. Zodiac, I see your message. I'm not going to deny it, but got to, just because we do have some females in the chat, I don't want to use that word. It sort of triggers a few of them. So, well, I'm just blocking that off. Good to see you here too, by the way. We're just breaking down the card here. And the other big news that has come down, and Sean Ross Sapp, like I said, Fightful Select. If you're not subscribed, well, I need to get mine back up again. But he is the source of information as much as people want to ridicule yes or no one way or the other. Sean Ross Sapp has reported that CM Punk has requested to AEW management that he wants to get back involved. And that being said, he doesn't mind working with the Elite or working with whatever. There's going to be some patchwork that has to be done with it. There's going to have to be definitely some, I don't want to say kissing up, but definitely going to have some situations they're going to need to control a little better here. So, and sorry, I do apologize if I'm turning my head once in a while here. Just about to switch over to Dynamite, but the Raptors are playing in a playoff game here for. If you're not familiar with the NBA, the National Basketball Association, they have a 7 through 10 tournament where 2 teams qualify for the playoffs and the other 2 go home. Raptors are in the 9-10 game. They win that, they get a chance to go to Miami tomorrow for a chance to make the playoffs. But never mind, it's all changed over. We're ready to go. Countdown has just disappeared, so that means Dynamite is about to be on the air. Do yourselves a favor, guys. If you're online and you know what, send it out. Send out your friends. Let's get everybody in here, because I don't push it a whole lot to get more people in here. But you know what? We're having so much fun. Let's keep it that way. And yeah, this is... All right, there's the pyro. This is going to be a fun night. Let's go, Bulls. Oh, where's that? Here you go. I forgot to put the damn boo in here. Don't! No, there's... Give it a... Either way, it's going to be a tight game, so... Oh. We're not... I guess we're going to get... We're going to get Matthews and... Buddy Matthews and Darby... Or, not Darby... Orange Cassidy is the main event. So Darby got hit with another car. Oh, my God. The way that Cage threw Darby there on that F10, as he calls it. My God, that was amazing. And now that we've seen Brian, if you guys didn't hear, Brian Cage has officially re-signed with AEW. Yeah, RIP Cutler and Nakazawa. Like, I'm almost scared to think about what the reasoning is behind that, booking that match, other than they want to set up that full Elite versus BCC match, which unfortunately can't go right now because I think it's Nick that has a torn bicep or something that he's rehabbing. So I'm betting that we see a cringe moment from Darby. Well, I wouldn't even bet on it. I'd say it's pretty much a guarantee. And by the way, good to see you here tonight, Darth Mick. Always happy to see each and every one of you here tonight. It's been a very fun day. I usually feel like I'm out of energy for the double streams, but the fact that we're actually just watching wrestling tonight, it might actually be a bit of an advantage for me. So he wanted a left-hand shake. A stunner to start the match. Oh, God. That spear is more of a cringe moment for me personally. First night using Hulu Live, cut the cable cord. Should I get Peacock? Yeah, I'm not sure. Zodiac, I'll be perfectly honest. There was a little better episode of Raw this week from what I've heard. I haven't seen it because, well, I was basically doing my best Mick Foley impression at work, so I wasn't doing a whole lot that night. So, found a lot of shows you love watching on Peacock. Yeah, you know what? If it's worth it, go for it. In Canada, we don't have that issue because we still have the WWE Network. So, at this time, I still have it merely for the fact that I like watching the old stuff. If it wasn't for the fact that I watch the old stuff once in a while, I probably would get rid of the network. Because I believe Sportsnet is... I'm an enthusiast. I like the old stuff for the fact that I've been around it, right? You like watching old Russo moments on Nitro? It's not even just that. I like going back to the golden age. Like where you get the old emotions, like going back to Royal Rumble 90, where you have Hogan and Warrior doing the old stare down, getting ready for WrestleMania 6. Watching Demolition absolutely pull off storylines like no other. The quarterly review of Judy on a pole. Yeah, there you go. You were in that. And also, they do have a few independents on there, and also a lot of the Stampede stuff was sold to WWE, so it is on the network as well. Using those stairs like that. Every time I watch Darby in a match, I gotta have 1 point somewhere in here where I just don't feel comfortable having him out there because it looks like he's gonna be rewatching Golden Age, not Judy on a pole match. No. Like for me, I'm an old fan of the old Survivor Series style matches. The Royal Rumble, when it felt like you could actually have somebody win that, isn't one of your top 5 stars. When there was no stipulation involved. Now, why is this not a DQ? Like, seriously. Darby's bleeding from the mouth already. I guess the rules are somewhat optional once in a while, right? I guess it just depends whatever you fit them in, right? Oh, look out. God, Strickland is so damn good. Like that heel kick, that's like a straight Street Fighter 6 move, right? Looking forward to the King of the Ring comeback. Hopefully it results in pushing up and coming talent. How is that auto-modded? What? Sorry, I don't know exactly what's auto-modded there. You'd have to DM me to, because I know there's a couple words that ended up getting. Twitch has their own auto mod that I've just used for this right now because I don't actually have real mods. Yeah, no, I haven't blocked you or anything here. Automod's getting all your messages. I love the year where the Survivor Series winner advanced and teamed together. Was Hogan, Santana, and Savage against yeah. I really found it interesting that they did the faces versus heels in that situation there. I've always felt that if it's part of the outfit, it's fair game. Okay, fair enough. Like, AEW's got lax rules at the best of times, so that's why I'm not really too worried about it altogether, but the See You Next Tuesday one, that's one I added to the block list because, like I said before, we do have a few women that come in here, and that could be a very triggering. I normally don't mind words, but that's one of them that, is way too easy to get triggered. So that's why I don't, that's one of the few words that I don't like using in here. I try to leave some sort of decorum, not much, just tiny little bit, just tiny little bit. But, yeah, that was the 93 Rumble, right? So, but Saraya said it on AEW. Yeah, like I still can't stand her promos, so it works out perfectly there. Saraya's, when it comes to Saraya's promos, you can tell that she was the top wrestler in a bad era. Like, frankly, that's where we're at right now with her, and to me, it just. I'm just happy that they don't have her in the ring right now full time. Her and Britt Baker are both there, but for completely different reasons. Britt's got an injury, and Saraya, while coming off an injury, it's just rough to have her in the ring some days. So, yeah, but yeah, when it comes to picking up Peacock, I know there's a lot of good things on it. When it comes to the network, like I said, if it was just to watch the current product, I probably would not have it right now just because everything that's been going on here lately with the old Vinnie Mac, and whether he's in charge or not, or Triple H is mostly in charge but Vince gets final say, or something like that. I just want good wrestling. I don't really give two kicks who's in charge. But unfortunately, Vince does not know how to take care of a show when he's in control of it. He's lost his touch, and it's literally driven everybody nuts. But in terms of tonight, which match are you guys looking forward to the most? That's the question I have. Like, for me, I'm looking forward to seeing Keith Lee finally back on my Dynamite screen here tonight as he's taking on Chris Jericho. If you're in the U.S., sometimes Peacock will have deals where you get $99 a month or 3 or 6 months. Yeah, sort of like Game Pass used to. They used to have the introductory offer for $1. But they officially announced that they're getting rid of that, so. But I do gotta speak here about how I'll pay $1 for a premium live event. I'll just do a little bit of that for that one. I will admit, for the most part, when Triple H is allowed to run a PLE, it's fine. I'll take AEW shows over a Vinnie Mac PLE any day. So this is weird. Now he's biting a foot. Oh my God, there's a foot bite there. Now, you hear this crowd? That is funnier than all hell. Darby has a foot fetish. May 23rd, HBO Max becomes Max. Discovery Buck. Oh, okay. So that's when they combine into one. You know what? You know what wouldn't surprise me there? Is if AEW is going to come out with their own streaming service. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't throw that into that HBO Max, Discovery Max combination, whatever you want to call it. Sort of like the way the Fed does the Peacock. What was Darby? That was a flying nothing, I believe, is what the famous... Oh, God. We're still getting these pillar shots. That's what I thought, too. Maybe not right away, but not long after they merge. Yeah. Like, it's May 23rd that that Max is formed. Well, here's a little coincidence here. May 28th, they have a little pay-per-view called Double or Nothing out in Vegas. Very well could announce in front of that crowd that they're going to get the network on Max, right? That's where you would get a lot of attention out of it. Sort of like in the area of finally announcing that they have the Fight Forever game ready. I was crazy enough to actually pre-order that. So hopefully it comes out in a decent amount of time. Hopefully we get some extra perks for pre-ordering. Watch this. They'll give us everybody that's been released in the time of development as bonus wrestlers if you pre-ordered it. Oh no. Here's our stupid moment of the night. Electric chair to the outside? Nope. Poison Rana. Jesus. That was just a nutty position. That was just nuts. There's a coffin drop. And here comes Prince Nana to screw everything up. Nana gets the toes up. You notice it was the foot with the without the boot. And here comes Cage. Here comes Cage. And I love that Cage is back down to his basic gear. That's what... Oh, and there's a... Yep, here we go. Went for the Meteora, but normally it's a Meteora, so that shouldn't be a factor there. That's the weird thing to me. Normally, he did a double stomp there, which, okay. Oh, stomp the foot. Okay. There's the interference spot. You know the other two members of Philly Moes are hurt currently. Explains them joined the embassy. Yeah. It's tough to be a six-man tag champion when you don't have championships, right? Ha! I love Swerve. He's like, yeah, no, I guess I'm not using that now. All right, that was a finish. I'm going to say it's maybe not the best match in the world there. Not that you would expect that out of these two. Well, somebody was under contractual obligation to be here, so therefore he is appearing. Maxfield Jacob Freeman. I love those shades. I want to get those shades. That special tinted shade like that, all fancy metal, and I think at the gas station they might have them here, so. But no, a hell of a great match between you got to admit, these two are going to be the future. I just didn't like how that match ended. Like, they tried to throw too many shenanigans right at the end, and all of a sudden, like, they ended up getting it finished with the Last Supper, their pin. It's almost like they were trying to tell a story too quickly, which really doesn't surprise me. Shenanigans once again. But speaking of shenanigans and some crazy shenanigans, I just want to throw this out here. We'll be playing this a couple times tonight. My buddies down at Wrestling Rodeo are doing a new show, like a live show, here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, coming up in just under a month. So let me play you the advertising clip because I absolutely adore this video. More than anything, I want you guys to, if you're in Alberta, I'd like you to get a chance to go watch the show. But if not, just enjoy the commercial.
Yay, purple stuff, sun delight.
Yeah, folks, WrestleMix 98. I'm looking forward to seeing what this show can produce and all the wrestlers that are there. They have had a new list, and it's not any set roster. Like, we have a certain group of rosters for. Oh, what the heck? So Impact, sorry to interject here, but Impact Wrestling is paid for advertising time on TSN. For those that don't know, in America, TSN is basically the Canadian ESPN. We've never seen Impact with that kind of money that they're going to start buying advertising spots. Let's just say I'm a little happy about that because that means they're making money and they're making a push. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of the talent announcements that are coming up for that WrestleMix 98. And if you're in Calgary, it's definitely going to be worth checking out. I do hope that they get some video for it. I'd be willing to offer my cameras up for it, my extra cameras and whatnot. I just can't be there personally. So if there's any video of it and there's anything to see, we're definitely going to check it out together here on the channel because, well, we love wrestling here. And speaking of loving wrestling, here comes MJF. Which, I don't know how that relates, but let's just go with that. Milwaukee. I only hope they're Milwaukee if they end up playing the Raptors. He's the best wrestler in the world. I will definitely throw a whistle out on that. I mean, if you ask him, he'll tell you. Well, true enough. And he'll tell you in about 20 minutes. They'll probably play the Raptors. Bulls are bullet it. I haven't seen the score. I want to see if my score thing is working again. Nope. My scoreboard app isn't working tonight. Damn it! Wow. He hasn't stared to a lot of people. No, it's only 11 points. Oh, God, he's playing up that story again. So, if you're not familiar with the story behind it, the last time these two met, MJF knocked out Darby with the Dynamite Diamond Ring and then did a headlock takeover to win the match because he promised that's how he would beat him. Well, the Devils are in second place right now. I believe the Canes are in first. Wrestling in front of 30 people. That's actually a pretty big indie crowd, depending on who you're looking at. So, in other words, he's not going to chase for the championship? Yeah, but now you're just dying on the outside and dying in the inside. Oh. Oh, he cut off MJF's joke. I love that side of the back. Shut up, MJF, you dingus. You know he's going to keep talking. Why do you encourage it? Well, of course they're going to cheer him. He bought his parents a house. Your morals suck. Not necessarily. Oh, God, here we go. Yeah, everybody's cheering that because everybody knows the truth. Might not go to heaven. Might not go to heaven. All right, we're listening. Let's hurry up. You know, the sucky part is the fact that he is that good. Oh, God, he's... Why does MJF have to go for that cheap pop every time? Okay, no, MJF's pissed off the wrong guy. Gotta love how Tony Schiavone feels like it's Christmas every time Sting comes out. MJF looks confused. You just told Darby Allin he's Sting's bitch, and you think Sting's not going to respond to it? Like, that's where I get confused sometimes. All right, Sting. I love that he can't afford to take his spring jacket off yet. Like, it's like he literally just ran in from the outside right now. Wrestling 101, say their name and they appear. It's 66% more efficient than Beetlejuice. It's like they appear out of nowhere. Sting's got like what? Pom-poms all over? The hell is this? Pom-Poms are getting more over than MJF right now. Oh, Cody Daycare. Ha! All right, I like this now. All right. This is the context I don't mind when it comes to Sting here. There you go. You know what? Oh, God. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up, please. Okay, yeah. You're almost rare positive shout out for Flair. When he's put in the right position, Flair could be a good guy. I love how they brought up heavyweight. Is Joker's Sting something you missed? That was Sting when he turned heel in TNA. Basically, he would wear a Joker paint instead of the regular paint, and he just basically played off that he was absolutely insane. Like, that's back when the time when he was facing like Jeff Hardy and I think it was just after he's worked with the Main Event Mafia, was did a few runs with Kurt Angle, with RVD. Showtime Darby sounds weird. It's like he's trying to be somewhat positive about things, but then I don't know, like for me, just seeing Darby as a heavyweight just doesn't click with me a whole lot. Like, I don't mind like a skinny frame going at it, but it's also watching a guy like Darby versus a guy like Swerve. There's another skinny body that actually looks like it. I like my wrestlers to look a little bit like a wrestler. Not a lot. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit. And I know this sounds weird, as our next match is actually going to involve the last real man in Silas Young taking on the TNT champion Powerhouse Hobbs. But I don't know. Darby, to me, just maybe it's just me. It just hasn't clicked a little bit. Meat slapping meat. It's Silas is built, but I just don't think he's that big. That's the thing. Great wrestler, though. Great talker. He's talked me out of my wallet a few times in terms of buying shirts. Never forget the time that I went in. I'm like, I'm not buying anything. Next thing you know, I got 3 Silas shirts going home. Like, but yeah, it's like I could see Guevara doing it. I could see Perry doing it. Darby reminds me a lot of Jeff Hardy, and I know a lot of people didn't believe that Jeff Hardy would ever be a world champion. And I know he ended up being one, but if you look at the younger Jeff Hardy, he looked like, I know the comparisons are out there, but the comparison right now is really scary to the first version of Team Extreme Jeff Hardy back when, if you would ever do any singles matches. Because Matt was always the guy that was under control. And there it is again. Jesus. All right. Sorry, just the Impact commercials back on TSN once again. It's nice to see Impact Wrestling investing in their own product a little bit more here, so. And I'm sure that AEW is more than fine with it. Hell, they might have even flipped some of the bill. Forgive the yawn, guys. Ever since, like Tuesday morning, Tuesday morning, somebody pulled the fire alarm at 5 a.m. here. Ever since that point, it's been, my sleep's been all over the place, so. So, as per tradition here, we are not going to be putting any points down since the talent's already in the ring. I don't see main eventers in Darby, Sammy, or Jungle Boy. I don't see it right now. Do I see it eventually? Quite possibly. I could see... agree with Jagger. Yeah. Right now, I don't see it. Like, I don't see it initially. I don't see... If Sammy got his stuff together, yeah. Didn't think Miz or Dolph would get there either. To be honest, Miz main event at WrestleMania, yeah. I'm with Darth Mick. Yeah, Sammy's at the closest of the moment. Yeah, I'll completely agree that Sammy does look like he's the closest right now. Perry just feels like he's just getting started. He's maybe a couple years back from where Sammy is. And then Darby, to me, it's just like, he's just that daredevil. Like that underdog that you hope gets a chance, but doesn't have a real base to him. Oh, Silas screwed that up. He jumped early. Okay. And that's why we don't do predictions on wrestlers already in the ring. So in the process of a month, they've taken out Nicole Matthews, who is considered one of the best women's wrestlers in Canada, and Silas Young, one of the steadiest ROH hands we've ever seen, in mere minutes. And they're not even really doing anything with this. So what are they doing now with Silas? Nothing. Darby's that guy, in my opinion, that will be a transitional champ, mid-card champ. Okay. So it looks like we're getting Wardlow. Oh. After everything that happened, is that Stacy Keibler? No. I forget what her name is. Huh. Oh, this is going to be great. Right in the windshield. At least he's not pulling a Goldberg here. Forklifts are always so much fun on a wrestling show. Now, you just hope that he knows how to use it properly, right? Harley Cameron? Okay. Never get the car bits. Oh, no, he destroyed a prop. Simply put, that car is worth... Theoretically, the story is that car is worth a ton of money. See, if they were smart, they would have brought... They would have brought in Braun Strowman to do this just by hand. Ha! Forgot to put the brakes on. So are they actually going to try and do that to Silas now still? My forklift license expired 15 years ago. Well, now why would everybody from QTV... It'd be 4 on freaking 1. Why are they... There we go. So now they're bringing everybody from the back to do it. I feel that's a major OSHA violation, leaving a forklift unattended in a very public area with the keys in the ignition still. Somebody send that video in. And if they're asking for a name who's reporting it, just put it down as Vince McMahon. Oh, sorry, Solo, but I got a feeling you're going through a table here. No, and this actually makes sense because Solo's the guy that actually broke into his vehicle. And unfortunately, Wardlow undershot that, and occupational safety and health. Yeah. We have OH&S here in Canada, so it's almost the same thing. But yeah, Wardlow screwed up on that power bomb. He didn't throw him far enough. You could see that back of Solo's head hit the canvas there. Yeah, R.I.P. Solo. Jay Quick, I'm really wondering, with them not announcing All In as a pay-per-view, I wonder if they were going to announce it HBO Max or it's... We were talking about that off the start of the show. We're probably... My prediction is, at Double or Nothing, they're going to announce the new network agreement with Max in terms of a new streaming service. Because here's the biggest thing, and... A lot of people forget about this. Like, everybody wants a streaming service right away. They, unfortunately, they don't have the content for it yet. They don't have enough AEW content for it. They're only like, 3-4 years in? 3 times 4 is 12. They got 12 shows. Do you want to pay, $10 a month to watch 12 videos that are on there? Sorry, guys, I had to respond back to a text. I got some potential new stuff coming down the pipe here. So, all right. I honestly thought this was going to be the main event. So it looks like we're actually going to get Keith Lee and... I'd rather pay $10 a month and get all the back episodes of Dynamite, Dark, Rampage, plus all the streaming stuff, Max, as opposed to 60 or 70 paper. That's fair. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the era of WWE where live pay-per-views will be on a premium live streaming service. Just going to call that right now for the mere fact that that formula does not make you money unless you have the numbers that WWE has. And I think that would be a position where you have to have the numbers in place first before they'll actually introduce that. And I know that a lot of independents do the PLE route for like IWTV and such for their pay-per-views. However, the expectations out of them versus what we get with... There's your prediction for the match, guys, by the way. And in terms of the dark footage and the... whether it be dark, whether it be... we are... sorry. I'm just getting some crazy news coming down the pipe here, but I can't tell you. Gotta keep composure. Gotta keep calm. Gotta get calm. Maintain calm. But anyway... Rampage and all that stuff, that you're more than likely to see that on TBS's streaming. Well, TBS's streaming service because, well, TBS and TNT actually own the rights to those shows, which I guess it would be the Warner Discovery Max program. Sorry that I'm running in circles here because this is a little different situation up here in Canada, where they aren't actually running it on a Warner Discovery channel. So there's a many different avenues for this. So now they're advertising all in London. Are they going to advertise all out Chicago? Because apparently they're doing both. That is going to be the week from wrestling. If you want to take a week off, that'll be the week to do it. Because you're getting 2 major pay-per-views from AEW in a week. Okay. The whole Hangman Omega Bucks feud with the Blackpool Combat Club has leading to blood and guts and double or not. That's what we're talking about. The only reason that the Elite hasn't been involved right now is the fact that Nick's got that tricep injury, which they're not 100% sure when he's going to be back and available. Because, well, he didn't want to go in for surgery or anything to be out for an extended period of time. He's going to try and rehab it. Oh, almost went for the buckle bomb there and got caught. This is going to... Wow. Could they finish this already? Did Orange break his hand? want to see this. You notice the spit fly there, like a tooth? He acted like a tooth blew. So is this how they get the title off him? All right. Oh, he's still selling for Battle of the Belts. Okay, that makes sense. And who says the young wrestlers couldn't sell these days? If you guys didn't hear, Bret Hart's been making a little bit of waves here from making some comments about all the new wrestlers can't sell. So therefore, thinking Bucks hanging and Omega come out to save Cutler and Nakazawa. I don't know. I would think so. It would just make sense. This might be the night where they get Omega and Hangman to finally put their differences aside. But this also could be the night where Callis ends up being that new manager figure for the BCC. Because they're teasing something with Callis right now. Because, well, Callis will take a bullet. Like everybody was saying, what's his face? After they came out and attacked Hangman in the back, they gave a shot to Callis. I think it's sort of like that position where I want you to make this look realistic, so you're going to beat up the boss. If you had the opportunity to go beat up your boss, wouldn't you take the full opportunity of it? Personally, I'd be going all ECW on his... Kevin Nash just said Rhea's selling ability is going to make her a GOAT women's wrestler. Yes and no. There's a problem with that. I wouldn't give my boss the pleasure. Be sort of counter effect. You're probably your own boss anyway, so... But yeah, just looking at everything and how everything works here, we're just... Rhea's one of the biggest wrestlers on the roster, and if she can sell properly, which she has been so far, I don't think there'd be a problem. But with all the smaller wrestlers that she has to deal with, it's hard sometimes to just find that fine curve between being a boss and actually selling injuries. I'm fully proponent of saying that Rhea Ripley is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I don't think that's a stretch for anybody's imagination right now. But it's also a position right now where you're starting to see that a lot of these, you're seeing it with AEW, you're seeing it internationally, whatnot. Wrestlers now are getting an exposure that they would never have gotten if an AEW didn't exist, if an Impact didn't grow the way it is, if MLW was in a position that it's in. Because I definitely would like to see all that in a box of chocolates kind of thing, right? So, and basically just comes down to opportunity. Oh my God, what a catch. What if Nigel comes back as the Blackpool Combat Club just freeze? Oh, Nigel will not be back as a wrestler. I do believe he has a medical condition that prevents him from being a wrestler. Part of that, I don't want to confirm it because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that he's not allowed to wrestle anymore, just straight up. So, could he fit the Regal position? I would be all over that. Personally, my big thing I would like to see from a guy like Nigel, I'd like him to be the kayfabe or the real booker for Ring of Honor. He's better than commentary. Not that commentary isn't important. Trust me, coming out of me, commentary is one of the most important things in the world. It can turn a bad match into a good match. And it can turn a good match into a great match. And unless you have a complete moron can turn a great match into a horrible match somehow there, but... Beach break on the apron. So you know it's multiplied by 4, right? That little joke about the hardest part of the ring. God, do I love Julia Hart's look right here. She's like Wednesday Addams here, just staring there like, there is no way you are losing this match like this. So they're both going to get back in at 9.5. Nine and a half, man. Let's just. You think they would have started building a Double or Nothing soon with it being over? I think they're going to wait a couple weeks. I think they got one of their premier shows here. They still got a match. They still got a show they can fit in somewhere in the middle of this before they move on to another bigger thing here. Can we all agree that pulling Julia Hart from the Varsity Bonds was possibly a good... I think it was an absolute amazing decision. It's under the category of giving the fans what they wanted for the mere fact that Julia needed a personality. And the Varsity Blondes being that cheerleader, there's that... well, you got that cheerleader in NXT that's part of Chase U. And while she does have some personality... You mean preppy cheerleader isn't It is if the people that you're working with... Yeah, I thought it was Thea Hale. But I just didn't want to say the name because, you know, if we're not 100% sure, don't screw up that much in a show. I actually have my correction staff texting me right now, so... What is Cassidy doing? You can put your hands in your pockets all you want, but... All right, looks... There's that stunner. But no, like, the rest of Chase U, and I give full credit to the former Harlem Bravado for this one. He created a personality for each and every one of those guys. And they were able to live up to it. And everything seemed to work with them so far. Like, the Varsity Blondes just did not know how to get themselves over. And that was the biggest problem. So it is going to be Wardlow and, Keith Lee and Jericho as the main event, it looks like. Unless they're doing the women. Which I very highly doubt based on who's in that match. As much as I'd love it to be that, I just don't see it being... Oh my God. Jesus! Avalanche DDT that could have went absolutely horribly. And another DDT. My God. Triple D. Oh my God. Do you see Matthew's selling of that DDT? Like, he just didn't go down. He went down in a heap. Kudos to Matthews on that sell. Sorry, I was about to say Murphy. kudos to Matthews on that cell job. Like boyfriend, like girlfriend, I guess. And I made sure to accept that, Darthwick. Sorry. Had to hold up there. Bret Hart even bought that cell. You notice that most of the varsity guys at my school were douches, not the smiling type that they portrayed. I think them being obnoxious heels would have been a better play for them in hindsight. Here's the thing. When it comes to for the varsity blondes, definitely. They could have come out as preppy douches. Pillman, come on, it's a Pillman trait. You could be a bigger douche. Oh, yeah, he sold. There you go. Attaboy, Matthews. Oh, Jesus. That's my point. Not smiling oafs that they were. Yeah, it was a poor setup in that case. Because it's been told before by many people, it is a lot easier. And there's the stomp. Do we get new champ? No. Matthews fall. Oh, here we go. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's how you show off a mid-card title. Right there. Let me get the predictions back out now. I try to wait and give you guys a little bit of time to see which actually the finish is. I'm doing my very best, and please forgive me if I don't. I know that there's some timing differences between us here when it comes to the show, so I don't like to. I don't like to show. Don't like to scream it out who the winner is and whatnot. What do we got here? Oh, Luchasaurus promo. Okay. Don't spend it all at once. Hey, you actually can, I do believe. You're hoarding your 64.7. Yeah. Well, Zodiac, you've been here forever, right? So that's it for that promo. Okay. Yeah, I know you guys got a ton here. I gotta find something for you guys to use that on that's a little bit more copacetic for you guys. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to see in terms of channel point redemptions? Because honestly, I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. I would like to change up the sound. Seeing Cardi B entire library on stream. And the other part? No, please, no. Gotta throw that one out there too. All right, Zodiac, I'll do the stretch, but I'm also going to do a cheap ad while I'm doing it too. So if you guys weren't here for the first part of the stream, I was part of the Electric Show League debut. So I am wearing my Don't Hate the Players, Hate the Game t-shirt, which is available on our merch store. Got all the details right there for you. And I am also wearing the, let me see if I can do this. The fleece shorts. Of course, I'm going to white out the entire screen with the, I'm going to have to get some photos for you guys and I'll put them up somewhere. The fleece shorts, I will tell you guys right now, and thank you for the stretch, by the way. I stretch out my back more than anything. My knees are a little bit sore after. I guess I should tell you guys what happened on Monday because you guys were looking for me for a fighting game stream on Monday. I actually fell off a ladder off a truck on Monday at work. We have cube vans that we work with, just regular 3/4 ton cube vans with a roof rack on top. And unfortunately for the repair I needed to do, I needed to get up even higher, about 15 feet. So I got up on a ladder, or I grabbed their ladder. And of course, safety first. Hell no. Why would I do that? Went up, all of a sudden, I'm climbing up the ladder, all of a sudden, one of the legs gave way. Apparently, one of the legs was broken, and I didn't land directly on the ground. I actually landed on top of the truck, so that's the only thing that saved my fall, but it hurt like hell because we had the anti-slip. And if you guys don't know what the anti-slip grip is on a metal rack, basically it's a bunch of dozen little divots in the bottom of the rack so that you don't slide back and forth. I didn't want to complain online about it because because wrestlers do that all the damn time. I will say my ankle was hurting a little bit on Monday, so that's why I didn't stream, because while I probably could have, it didn't feel comfortable, so I'll catch it up with you guys later. And we had a lot of fun on Tuesday with Breath of the Wild. FTR versus the Best Friends? I can live with that. Uh-oh. He doesn't even get an entrance. How's Dynamite been tonight? It's been okay. The Darby... The Darby Swerve match, bit of a weird ending, I think, to it. Like, too many shenanigans in the ending. Then they had a very long promo with MJF as usual. Sting comes out to give a good shout out to Ric Flair, which we never see. And then we had Powerhouse Hobbs take out Silas Young in under a minute. Ended up flipping a car after. Wardlow grabbed a forklift and flipped over Hobbs' car after smashing the windows in and whatnot. And we just had an international match between Orange Cassidy and Buddy Matthews, which I think was a lot better than most. Oh, Wardlow killed Solo too, by the way. There were two tables lined up and he only powerbombed through one, headed back of his head on another. I am the table. I need to find... I should actually get down a lot of these quotes here and use them for our... Hold the ass. Yes, I like that. Nice. I thought that was the stipulation of the match anyway, for the last match. Oh, here comes Moriarty and Cass. Oh my God! Isaiah ate the corner of the ring there. Wow. Big Bill shoved him like that was like good old-fashioned Minnesota Wild boarding right there. That was Ryan Reeves last night. Ah. I love when Hook comes out. He literally has to fluff his hair before he comes out. Even Taz is like in shock right now. Oh, they're teasing that suplex a lot. Too many men. It's 3-on-3. What? Well, at least this time he isn't dancing to the ring. Yeah, they had to turn to the crowd because they thought they might get a headshot out of that. All right. Jeff Hardy is back. Crowd is popping. I really hope he's got his life figured out. Is it sad that that's the first thing we're thinking about when you hear Jeff Hardy's music and it's the second thing we think about. First thing we thought about, he didn't dance his way down to the ring. Yeah, I'm with you, Zodiac. It's like, okay, you got another chance. Don't fuck this one up this time. He's already done it 5 times. But I will say that is a very decorative chair. It's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt anymore, though. Absolutely. I'll give you a gold coin for that one. Like, to me, like, he didn't dance while his brother was getting beat. Exactly. I wonder how many times. Like, I got the counter thing available. I should just try and find that out. But it's good to see Jeff back. Like, you know what? If he's got his life in order, I will take it. Oh my God. Did you see that cut on Gallus? Yeah, basically, yeah, it's under a category of Hardy's got to prove it before we'll actually feel really comfortable. You're going to get the pops, right? He's that popular, but... Addiction is a lifelong struggle. He chose to drink, but addiction is hell for those who have it. I wish him nothing but the best. Let's not... Let me get through this promo here because it's very low first. What could be worse than blood for blood? Mr. Krabs is totally likable, guys. We like Mr. Krabs. It's just no. Let me get back to the chat here about everything that addiction, lifelong struggle. He chose to drink, but addiction is hell for those who have it. Wish him nothing but the best. Absolutely. Like, I don't care what happens. I'd like to see that that he gets better. That's all I worry about. If he ends up wrestling, great. If he doesn't, that's fine. I'm fine with that too. Is he still gray, or did he dye his hair? It looks like he dyed his hair. I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't looking at his hair, to be honest. Want the best for him too, but he's also got to want and accept the help. Well, he did accept the terms of TK. Like, TK isn't Vince in the wellness program. He just basically said, you have to deal with this before we'll let you back. Can't be a liability in the industry where people are getting serious. Exactly. Like, if he's clean, he'll be good now. But I can't see him getting more than one chance out of this, straight up, when it comes to Jeff Hardy here. But I totally want to think that this whole thing, now after that promo with Kenny, I want to go more with the fact that this is a swerve and Callis is the guy that is in charge of the BCC. Because Callis is one of the few guys that would actually sell that kind of injury there. And I'm only putting points up for this match because, well, there is a chance that there might be some interference here. And I'm too lazy to type out the whole thing, so I'm just putting elite for the other team here. Actually, what I'll do, I'll put something better. All right, I have the prediction going for you guys. I think this AEW needs a wellness program. The promotion is only a few years old, and there have been a few people out that have let drugs and alcohol get out of hand. Like, you got Moxley, you got Hardy. 2 is too many, if you ask me personally. But I will say this: when you've run into that situation, both have been dealt with correctly. That's one of the weird things. Not having a drug test, I'd almost think he'd be worried about getting collectively bargained in that case. Jericho had to clean himself up too. Well, here's the quick question. I know with Hardy affected performance. With basically, has Tony Khan, when this has come up to be an issue, has there been a bad result out of it yet? Because the 3 that I know of now are all running really well. Sorry, speaking of addiction, I had to fill myself up with some drugs myself there for a moment. Could feel the little wheeze coming on here, so. See, if I was these guys, I would literally sprint to the ring first, so then these guys couldn't beat me up first. I think there has to be something to it that we know more in AEW. I'm sure the WWE has their issues too. Riddle has a recent example. AEW is a bit more transparent, which could be good or bad depending on the art. They're transparent in some things and very hidden in others. Like, let's put it straightforward here. When it comes to contract situations, AEW does not have to reveal anything. And now technically I guess it's still publicly traded, so WWE has to reveal this stuff because they are publicly traded. And since AEW is not, they don't have to say a damn word about it. Basically, anything they do, they don't have to report anything about it to anyone. Nakazawa's already bleeding. We should have done a timer on how long until somebody bleeds. Oh, and Crowder, if you're wondering, I already had my ulti subs here during the ball game today, so therefore I don't like having two of those in one day. It just, I can't sleep after that. First wrestling match I remember watching. I would have to say I didn't get a chance to watch any of the Stampede live first. Hey, that's why I came out so hot this afternoon. The fact that we got a dead split between myself and Art, that floored me. But Darthwick, back to your question here. The first match I remember seeing that would have been WrestleMania 3, Hogan Andre on a scrambled signal. For those that are too young to remember this, satellites used to have, like, you'd actually have 12-foot dishes outside. And those 12-foot dishes you would have to control. They would be 12-foot dishes, and you have to aim them at an exact angle in order for you to pick up a signal for a certain show. So what we would do to circumvent that is we just go a couple, like maybe even a slightly half a degree off from where the actual signal's supposed to be. So the signal wouldn't be the best, but you'd still be able to see the picture. 95% of the time that was used by people to get some rather adult associated entertainment off their satellite dish. We used it for wrestling. Maybe that tells you how sick I am. I was also, that would have been 83. That would have been, man, I would have been 5 at the time. No, it would have been 4 because it was in the spring. And the Death Rider, which Cutler went way over the top. Look at that blood. Are they going to DQ him? Okay, they're... So is this a no contest, or is this cannot continue? Steiner Brothers versus Harlem Heat on some Saturday night show, maybe a month or two before the NWO. Okay. That would have been a hell of a match to watch. So, there was no official announcement as to the winner, so I'm going to end the submissions. I'm going to hang on right now. Mine was probably Saturday Night Main Event, Hogan and Rude, maybe. No. There's somebody else. Who's the other debut? Please tell me. Please tell me. Please. All right. Bucks are back. The hell injuries. You want to talk about blood feud? This is how you make a blood feud. So, no, please don't make Moxley bleed. That's going to piss him off even more. Really? And they got a square head screwdriver. But why did they let Cutler and Nakazawa get mangled for 5 minutes for showing up? They probably were locked up in a different spot, right? They don't like him that much. I'll give you that. Hey, both guys come up with it right away. I love it. All right, guys. I'm going to be honest. While they could have said officially unable to continue, they never said anything on commentary as to who won this match. It appears that Rick Knox just threw the match out. All right, I'm just going to delete the... you guys can get your points back for this one because, well, frankly, they never clearly stated who a winner was or wasn't. Because I personally think it's a disqualification for both guys in the ring, but... just throws his boot. Why don't you take your boot so you can walk in it? All right, somebody call Shadow to Cloud. We got the women's tag match going on here now. All right, let me get the predictions up here. Hopefully I don't have to delete this one. All right. Prediction is up. Ruby Sky versus... Riho Sky versus Ruby Tony. Sounds like a pasta dish. I like teams with matching gear. And you know what? It's about damn time that they had this. I know they were wearing some green last time, but this really looks more like a true tag team here, right? But it's weird seeing Ruby wearing, symmetrical pants or tights or whichever way you want to call it. She's usually got the one with the one leg long and the other one short. But it's nice to see that Sky Blue has been officially signed to AEW. Like, she showed a lot of potential, and Lord knows her boyfriend's going to be around forever here in Dante Martin if he doesn't get injured again, which he just did, but that's beside the point. Jesus! That was a kick! Will Ospreay be proud of that kick? And these guys are just whipping in and out with those tags oh so quickly here. I guess they got to put this match on fast forward because I didn't even realize we're at the half hour already. So that means these ladies got to work. Unless Jericho and Lee are only going to go half an hour, right? By the way, I can watch bad injuries without issues, however. That Martin injury made me cringe. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Supercard of Honor yet. I've just been... This work schedule that I'm on has completely screwed me up. Has completely thrown me for a loop. Has completely... Yeah. I got 2 more weeks of my awkward schedule here, and then I go back to somewhat normal at the end of the month here. I noticed Riho and Sky weren't even in the ring yet. The Outcast music. Yeah, like, I got a feeling that last BCC spot went long. When you're the VPs of the company, you should be showing example here, but I think that, like you guys were talking about, should that meltdown of Nakazawa and Cutler have lasted that long? Probably not. That's your first indicator right there that segment went long. I think between that segment and once again the MJF segment, they probably went long compared to what they should have. And the reason I say the MJF segment is because the subsequent match at the top of the hour, which they always run a match at the top of the hour because that's how you attract your audience, right? The match at the start of the hour actually started late as well, if you go back and check. Because I got a feeling that this match, like the previous match with the tag, was supposed to start a little closer to the top of the hour. So I think everything got backed up off that first promo. Then you have the Elite BCC segment that took a little longer. But yeah, that promo segment with MJF, Sting, and Darby just... Once again, MJF is at that point where he does a good promo and then there's an extra fluffer in the back. Like, do the fluffer in the back, literally. Just let it puff down, let it calm down, let it simmer down all in the back. And yes, I do know that I use fluffer all there, and, that could be a lot of crazy stuff here, so... But I will say this, and I think you guys could all agree with me here, that wrestling, it's just good to see that wrestling's thriving right now overall. Like, we'll nitpick about spots and some stuff will look stupid, but the fact we still got wrestling going that is really strong. Hey, Crowder, check out the Electric Show League, the new rules that have come out. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So technically, as of right now, I am leading the Electric Show League after the first day of games. Because I got a win and a or a loss in overtime. So basically the key for you is to always make sure you go to overtime. Jules! I got to find some way to specifically set that up for actual new people, but I'm glad you're new to being here. Good to see Backbreaker Gaming member Rick Jules in the crowd here. I know you're just getting ready to fire up for your Pokemon stream coming up at the top of the hour. Wow, that was nice. And if you guys are interested at all, and judging by the results on the YouTube analytics, oh my God. Tony Storm with the ass attack and the Mick Foley pile driver. 1. Yeah, that was... Every Tuesday, we have a playthrough of Pokemon Legends Arceus that is available on our gaming YouTube channel. Wednesdays, we have, Riho's coming in. She's going to get beat. Now we're going to get either Willow or Jamie, one or the other. I'm assuming Willow because they don't want to bring out Jamie yet. What would be Rio's Pokemon team? Jules, you're really asking the wrong person, to be perfectly honest. I really don't know much about Pokemon, period. I'm probably one of the few people that does not know much about Pokemon. And it's funny because... and here comes Jamie. Once again, this is another one of those situations where the beatdowns happen, the princes come across. My guess is 6 evolutions. I'll give you that. Oh, and Britt's actually coming out now. And Britt's got the Milwaukee Bucks pants on. And in those boots, she almost... Oh, my God. You can see the state of the women's division in AEW when Jamie gets the first hit, then Britt gets the second. It's almost like you go with the popularity spike. Oh, here we go. Oh, and she had the... What's that phrase? You got the boot right there. If she would have hit that curb stomp with those, that would have been pretty horrific. Okay, so that's how they're going to play up this main event here. All right, we got our main event, and we're probably going to have about 15 minutes of actual gameplay time with it, so... I really hope that Hayter gets the proper push that she needs, because I think the ultimate money match in London will be Saraya versus Jamie for the title, with Saraya as the champion. Because Jamie winning it back in front of 90-some thousand people, which I legit think they will get. For people that are asking me how many people do you actually think you're going to get for an AEW stadium show, I think they're going to sell out if it's in Europe. If it's in North America, it's the law of diminishing returns. Once you've already seen something, you're not necessarily going to return to it, right? So, in my personal opinion, I think they're going to sell out Wembley. As long as they don't decide to rack up the prices like Mania. I will say the one legit concern that I've seen from people in regards to it is the fact that we as wrestling fans have to pay out for 2 pay-per-views in the matter of a week. And it is, for families, for parents, it is the most expensive time of the year, outside of Christmas. Because school supplies, getting things ready for people to go back. It's always one of the most expensive times of the year, trying to get things put together for families, trying to get things back to school. For me, it's like, whatever, let's go. And I'm still hopefully linked up with Beercade still, so we'll be able to watch it there as well. So that could be a good opportunity there, but they need a lot of big names on it. Do you think they'll pull the Punk card? I think they will. I think there's a lot of mending to go through there. But I think they could do... Now, here's the way. There's two ways to go here. That's an interesting one. I'll get to that one in a second here. Here's a question for you, Jay Quick, and I'm just going to pull this one out here. You got All In at Wembley the last week of August. First week of September, you have All Out in Chicago. Do you pull the Punk card on the first week at Wembley, or do you pull it on the second week? Because Punk's first match back will probably be one of those that'll be absolutely insane. Darth Mick, if it's true that you have Drew Galloway's contract available by the time that all in comes in, there's no doubt in my mind you throw him on that card right there. And you get as much local talent as you can. You're definitely going to head out that way. I think they'll add some names like Osprey and Aussie Open and maybe that Trent Seven guy. I could see it. I think there's going to be a lot of local talent involved in that. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be there as well. And Jules here saying, hot take, no Punk. Sean Ross Sapp has reported, we talked about it earlier, Sean Ross Sapp reported that Punk has reached out to AEW asking to come back, which I'm assuming he's going to have to do the Jeff Hardy gauntlet, as we're sort of dubbing it here tonight, with the fact that he's going to have to run through Tony Khan's hurdles to get back into this. I can't wait for July 5th and Jericho's entrance. And I'm only going to put this on for 10 minutes, guys, because we only got about 15 minutes of TV left here tonight. If they are booking Yoshihiko, they're failing. Meh. I will say this. You would think we would get Punk and FTR versus the Bucks and Omega. I think that's a match we're going to get. Eventually, I don't know where we're going to fit that in. To be perfectly frank, and to be perfectly honest, if you have Punk debut at Wembley, I would do the Punk and FTR versus Bucks and Omega match at all out then. Because a 6-person tag with those 6 in it will get over the crowd like crazy. But it also is going to help guys like Punk and Omega that are going to be in big singles matches at the Wembley show. Because when you debut Punk, you're going to debut him by himself, I got a feeling. So I can't wait for our playthrough of Tekken 7. Getting ready for the Evil collection here, because Keith Lee is supposed to be creating some stuff going into like Keith Lee's supposed to base his gear off a Tekken character. I just can't remember off the top of my head. And I love the fact that Keith Lee has got into his gray beard and just let it go. Have Punk run in to make the save for Omega. Omega looks confused. Makes the next show bust. Well, absolutely. The only thing I would say in regards to that is, if you're going to debut Punk, you're going to advertise that so it's an extra ticket seller. You don't have him do a random run-in like you would at at a Double or Nothing or a All In, those small shows. You're looking to sell 92,000 tickets. You need to pull every trick out of your hat because you are not WWE. You are not WrestleMania. Man, do I love me some Keith Lee on my TV right now. So, if you guys are wondering if you're looking for Rampage next for this Friday, the NBA playing games are going on tonight, and the winners of the games tonight have to play the losers of the games tomorrow or yesterday. Tomorrow for the number 8 spot in each division or each playoffs. So that's where the playoff games are kicking in, and that's when they're going to have to determine what time Rampage is going to start. It's probably going to start pretty late. I found it fun. I got to sit back and watch Rampage last week because they actually put Battle of the Belts on one of our TSN channels last week. So Bulls up 3 with 12 seconds left. The Raptors will Raptor it. Just like you think the Bulls bullet, the Raptors will Raptor it. 3 is the death knell of the Raptors. Jamie and Britt versus Ruby and Tony. Okay, we get Ruby and Tony again. Britt's going home, so that seems automatic. Jamie Hayter better have her work boots on. We're getting Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow already? Looks like we might get a free throw contest for the rest of the night there, Darth Mix, so... the hell is Garcia doing? My God, Garcia, the salsa dancing on the ring apron. Maybe have Punk show up for Double or Nothing after the Blood and Guts. Yeah, that would be more realistic. I don't think the Bulls want more than 3 in a row all year. Such a disappointing season. Fun fact, no number 10 has beaten a number 9 in these playing games. So Chicago could very well be the first one. I want to see if my scoreboard app is up at all now. Nope, not working. Damn it. No, the scoreboard bot that I have for the stream here, in between our first stream and our second stream, it seemed to die off, so... no running scoreboard as we're going along, or else I'll have to find another one later. Bulls win, yep. Congratulations, you get to go to Miami and get trounced by the Heat. But it really doesn't surprise me with the Raptors right now because they just... Nick Nurse does not know how to work with young guys. He knows how to work with experienced guys. My team ended another Canadian Dreams. It's just like Magic. And not the Orlando Magic. If Punk comes back at Double or Nothing, I wonder who they would have Punk fight at Forbidden Door. Well, Forbidden Door is one of those one-offs that, you basically could do anything there. I think Tony did a little bit too much building up for Forbidden Door 1, personally, if you ask me. First the Blue Jays, now the yeah, I know, exactly. Oh, don't worry. I remember very well, Darthvic. That's why I'm a little shocked that the Rays are now 2000 right now. Sorry, just quickly going through my notes here right now. Forbidden Door 1 was cursed, so many injuries beforehand. And that's why I say, when it comes to Forbidden Door, you do not have to set up a whole lot of storylines. Don't lose hope. You have the maple. Yeah, no, that team ain't doing nothing. I am so happy that team should get exercise before the playoffs. Did you see they tried to sign 2 emergency goaltenders so they could hire or sign a rookie before a rookie free agent that came out of university? So they would have to work 2 emergency goalies who have never played a professional game in their life to take on the Florida Panthers in the middle of a playoff run for them. Oilers still have a look, right? Yeah. The Oilers are in. They got a pretty good team and a pretty good draw. Personally, I'm hoping for them to lose tomorrow. Is Punk really going to put his ego aside and eat crow? My personal feeling is, and I know that I'm on here right now with social media, but social media has really blown over a lot more things than what we used to have. Don't get me wrong. I think Punk is still a cancer and a horrible person. But at the same time, we've had horrible people in wrestling for a very long time. Just because you have idiots running around doesn't mean necessarily that they can't draw money. And unfortunately, those kind of people end up drawing money. Rikishi was a bad man. Bad thoughts, bad rules, bad playing my own rules. I'm a bad man. Now this looks horrible, this bear hug. Jericho didn't get up for it at all. I remember some of the lyrics. I didn't mind the Rikishi gimmick when he went heel. It's just until he ran into that car, that's how they got him to turn heel sucked. The fact that he was a heel did not suck. A big man like that, who could run over anybody and has the skills to do it, he had the charisma to do it. So I didn't mind it. Like, do yourselves a favor, guys. If you want to see somebody getting over as a big heel like that, you want to watch Rikishi at his worst? Jesus! Check out the Armageddon 2000 Hell in a Cell match with the 6-way, where Rikishi ended up getting chokeslammed off the top of the cage onto a truck full of hay. Going into that storyline, like, don't get me wrong, I did it for The Rock. It was absolutely dumb. But, yeah, Rikishi side clotheslines was incredible. Like, Rikishi was the hell of an athlete, just like Keith Lee is. Wow. Yeah. Keith Lee's like, yeah, I'm a fat man. You just put your knees up to try and protect you. Like, that is funny. That's a funny sell by Lee. The fact that he got hit by the moonsault right in the gut. And when you're a fat man, that doesn't hurt as much. Don't get me wrong, it hurts, but it just don't hurt as much. Yes, I have a gut, all right? But going back to the thoughts on Punk, if it actually happens, I won't mind. I won't mind seeing Punk as on my screens again. Yeah, this hold ain't gonna last up a whole lot longer here. Do you think him posting that thing on social media, bashing things, and then taking it out shortly after makes art? Absolutely. Jericho is, Punk is not giving himself any favors. And to me, it just screams with the fact that he, oh, Jesus, there we go. There's the Beal. Every step he takes is just making it a little more difficult for him. And I honestly think he should be checked out for bipolarism. Because it almost seems like one day he's great, the next day he's horrible. But he seems to be like being that kind of guy that would not... The hell is Garcia doing? He's love tapping him in the back. I say narcissism is more... Yeah. I honestly think it might be bipolarism, to be frank. Just because such extremes. And I think there's a little bit of narcissism in every wrestler. Like, that just... Your job is to get yourself over. And that... You have to have an ultra level of self-confidence. That's one thing that all wrestlers need in order to be successful. But there is also a ton of paranoia with that as well. Oh my God. That spirit bomb. My goodness, Jericho went down. And he rolled to the rope, so we know what's going on. Aubrey. Oh, and here comes Hager. Nope. Frickin' Swerve. Frickin' Swerve again. Really? Wow. Well, Swerve did say earlier that he has some old he has some unfinished bit. Exactly. Like Darth Mick, you were right on. Like this story was told earlier, but it almost feels weird that this was all branched out of an Adam Cole promo. There it is. And they got 1 minute. Or is Adam Cole going to go heel now? Ah, I get it. It's the complete reversal of what happened last week, where Jericho tried to steal Cole's spotlight by coming out to help Garcia. So now Cole comes out to help and take the spotlight away from Jericho. Ha! That's cute. That's clever. Jericho's trying to get himself over and, celebrate the fact that he won. And Cole just not letting him have it. So we're going to get this Chris Jericho, Adam Cole feud out of this. So, yeah. I'd say all in all, tonight was okay. I'm not going to say that it was great. I'm not going to say it was absolutely horrible. But it was a little rough night in some phases. That Darby Swerve match, like I said, was a decent match to start, and then just that ending just made you feel bad. Then you get the MJF promo once again. Sting comes out, and while he did put over quite a bit to help out, have yourself a good night there, Zodiac. Take care. Sting did a lot to put a lot of wrestlers over, like Ric Flair, and talking about the parentage, and talked about Cody specifically there. Watch out for ladders. Yeah, good point there, Darth Mick. I appreciate that. But yeah, as you go through the rest of the card here, like Buddy Matthews, Orange Cassidy, hell of a match. You're not all right. You're great. All right, I'll give you that one too. Thanks, Zodiac. Have yourself a great night. Then you got the BCC and that beatdown and sort of setting up this at least a 6-man, if not more. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when Danielson comes back and who ends up being the 5th. Unless they're going to do 4-on-4, which might actually make a little bit more sense if they're going to do it at the pay-per-view, because you don't want to carry things out too long with that, right? So, the women's match, they're finally getting to Hayter Baker versus the Outcasts. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with that, because Hayter's the champ. I know they want to get that belt. I got to feel they want to get that belt on the Outcasts just because the chase is usually more important than the reign, especially in North American wrestling. And then you got the main event where you had a great match. Usual Jericho shenanigans finish. Little interjection here with Swerve showing up at that spot, which I don't know whether it was Jericho involved or not, but either way, looks like we're going to end up with an Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho feud coming up. So I'll take it. That should be a good match. I'd love to see them not have any shenanigans in it, but we can talk about that next week once they start setting things up here. So.